Yesterday I found myself in the center of the stupidest controversy I've ever been involved in, and that's saying something. That's an achievement. Because 5 years ago I had beef with the old school RuneScape team because I got banned for botting when I posted a video about how I made the world's worst auto-clicking machine. If you can even call this a machine. I Frankensteined together this absolute abomination with a children's screwdriver, a toy screwdriver, and a bunch of tape. Like, I Jimmy Neutroned the worst thing the world's ever seen to help me click when I went to take a shit while on my thieving grind. The thing is about... I'm getting kind of sidetracked on this. This dude doesn't even work as an auto-clicker because when it came to thieving, I'd still have to come back and manually go up to click the coin pouch. So it was really only there for literally maybe a minute while I was away to go to the bathroom, and it still couldn't even fully auto-click on its own and be self-sufficient, because I'd have to come in and manually human input clicking the coin pouch. It was still the dumbest ban in RuneScape history. So, I've been in some dumb controversy. But what happened yesterday blew my mind, because I actually just could have never even imagined it would be an issue in the first place. I posted a compilation video of my entire Elden Ring DLC playthrough of my fist-only build, where I would only be using fist-based weapons, giving them the power of the good old knuckle sandwich, the 1-2, the law and order. No summons, just good old-fashioned meat. And I finished the DLC, I really enjoyed it, and posted a long highlight of how the whole run went. And I was really happy with how the run went, and I thought the video was a fucking banger. But I made the mistake of titling the video, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is Easy. I thought the title was pretty obviously sarcastic, and it's actually a title I've used frequently throughout my entire time on YouTube. Here's just a quick screenshot of just a batch of videos I called Blank is an Easy Game, or Blank is Easy. And to those of you that have been eating your carrots with that sharp eyesight, you might notice I actually titled the Elden Ring video down there the same thing. Elden Ring is an easy game. And it wasn't controversial back then, but because the DLC's become a hot button issue over the difficulty of it, people took it as me insulting them by calling it easy. So it became a pretty big talking point on a few Twitter threads as well as a bit on Reddit about how much of an asshole I was for calling the video Elden Ring DLC is easy. Don't worry, I've been successfully bullied into renaming it Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is hard. The re-education here has been successful. I've been programmed to now know that sarcasm will never work in a video title, even in something as insignificant as a video game subject here, about the difficulty of it. Like, if you watch the video, there's multiple times I talk about it being difficult, but still fun. And it took me 66 tries to kill the final boss. It took me 3 hours. It's not exactly like I was trying to hide that fact or anything. It took a while. It wasn't easy. I thought it was pretty obvious, if anyone even bothered to sit down and watch any moments of the video itself. But perhaps that's an unrealistic expectation. People don't need to actually watch the thing they're getting mad about, I guess. I truly never thought this would be controversial, because I've used that title for so many videos in the past without issue. But the big 2024 is presenting new problems out of thin air, I guess, here. I'm gonna be totally honest here, sports fans, I don't get it. I don't know what there is to be fuming about. Let's say I truly did find the DLC to be easy. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? If I find it easy and you find it super hard, why is that still cause for anger? It's not some kind of personal attack against you or anything. It's truly just not a big deal if we disagree on the difficulty of something. Now, in this case, we agree that it's hard. So, like, it's actually just over nothing just because you couldn't be bothered to watch the video and got mad about the silly title. A title, again, that I have used actually probably 30, 40 times without it ever being an issue. Until now. Until the Elden Ring DLC was the one that had this title slapped on it. I still think it's a pretty trivial thing to get mad about, but I'm not here to, like, rant about it for a super long time to try and change your mind on it. I'm not trying to fucking, like, jack into your brain and start moving levers around to make you feel like it, you know, wasn't a big deal. If it made you upset, then I apologize for it. It truly was just a sarcastic title. Like, again, I thought that was pretty clear in the actual content of the video itself. And again, it's a title I've used so many times without issue. I could have never possibly predicted fucking Nostradamus. Baba Vanga couldn't have predicted that it would be an issue this time. At least in my eyes, I don't think it would be, because I've used it so many times. For many other hard games, mind you. So yeah, I don't think the Elden Ring DLC is easy. I find it difficult. Let's set the record straight. I really enjoyed the challenge. I had a great time with it. To date, that final boss in the DLC is the hardest in any game I've ever played. It took me 66 tries and a little over 3 hours, but beating that final boss is one of the best feelings I've had in gaming in quite some time, especially because I did it with Old Faithful right here. Gave him the Why I Oughta special. So it felt great to finally triumph over that final boss. I do have a couple of complaints about the final boss. I'm not going to get into spoilers, so don't worry, I'm going to talk broadly here. In Phase 2 of the final boss, there is a legitimate issue that needs to be fixed with the visual clutter. The final boss uses attacks that are actually fucking blinding, like Piccolo casting a solar flare. Every couple of attacks that the final boss has will inevitably spawn very, very bright particle effects that make it impossible to see what's even happening around you or even in front of you. So they end up masking a lot of the boss's moves, so you can't even see some of them coming, which I am confident was not on purpose. I don't think that was the design philosophy, to be casting an infinite fucking smoke screen so you can't see the boss. It's just too bright. I really think that's something they'd need to, like, tone down the brightness without necessarily nerfing the moveset, because I actually think the moveset's just fine. The hitboxes are really tight, actually, on the final boss, and I had tons of attempts to experience the hitboxes. I don't have any problems with the hitboxes themselves. It's just so bright and so much clutter that it makes it almost impossible sometimes to see what move is being thrown at you. Coupled with the fact that the boss has really long, puffy hair, it's oftentimes you can't react to something because you can't see it. Between the visual clutter of the particle effects from some of the attacks and the boss's hair itself, sometimes you actually will just get hit by a bullshit blaster that you never saw because the hair was in your fucking face, as well as all these lights that are flashing like you just walked into an EDM rave. It's like that. I don't think that's on purpose. So I think that is something that they need to legitimately address. And I think it's the reason why a lot of people are getting kind of hung up on Phase 2 of that boss, because I feel like if you could see it better, you could learn the patterns a lot better and be more efficient at dodging. But because sometimes you can't see it at all, there's not a whole lot of progress you make with the dodge timings. So I do want to put that out there. Even though I really enjoyed beating the final boss, it was very frustrating and quite a big headache when I would die, like have my cheek spread by something I actually couldn't see under any circumstances because of too much clutter and too much hair. Goofball must have just got their hair done right before the fight, and goodness gracious, the buff that gave to the boss cannot be understated. So yeah, hair, visual clutter, huge complaints about the final boss from me. Other than that, though, I really did enjoy the DLC. There, like I mentioned in the last video, when we were talking about the DLC, there are a few bosses, and more, since I finished the game, that I recognized, have janky hitboxes. By far, the worst is Commander Gaius. Commander Gaius has an unforgivably terrible hitbox on the hog that he rides. Hog Rider is by far the worst boss in this game. Like, I'm not just talking about DLC. I think Commander Gaius is the worst boss in all of Elden Ring. That boss just super sucks. Like, the hitbox is broken, actually broken. So, yeah. There definitely is some complaints that I have with the DLC, but overall, I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm sorry for the title of the Shadow of the Erdtree video. I wasn't trying to make anyone feel bad. To me, I thought it was just harmless silliness, and I'd used it so many times in the past, it didn't register that it could be an issue. So I guess going forward, I just won't call things easy in the title anymore. But anyway, just want to talk about it a little bit. That's it. See ya.